A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritvika Gupta and you're watching our special weekend edition Super Achievers Making New India powered by VoiceWhat. Today we are taking a deep dive into India's rise as a global hub for next generation GCCs, AI innovation and future-ready tech talent. And leading this wave is Lumen Technologies, a global network, security and cloud solutions provider that is building deep technical capability out of India for customers worldwide. And giving us an inside view of this journey is Soumitra Saha, Managing Director and Country Head, Lumen Technologies, in a conversation with my colleague Sreeja MS.
In an era where digital transformation defines competitive advantage, technology leaders are rewriting the rules of global business. Lumen Technologies India stands at the forefront of this revolution. As a strategic technology hub of a Fortune 500 communications leader, 3,000 plus professionals across Bengaluru and Noida drive breakthrough solutions that power businesses worldwide. From generative AI to cloud technologies, this team doesn't just execute, it owns, innovates and leads. To understand what makes Lumen India truly unique, we spoke to the leaders shaping its future.
At Lumen, we're going through a huge transformation at the moment. It's a fundamental shift in the way we operate. And if I look at it culturally, we are moving from playing not to lose to playing to win. And that really means it's a huge culture shift, it's a huge mindset change. So we've done a lot of work in terms of really talking about those values, those behaviors to our employees. It's called Lumen 8 behaviors, which are our guiding North Star, which helps us navigate through every day and makes this huge transformation change.
See, for a transformation of any GCC, the most important thing is process. All processes has to orchestrate to create a symphony.
In Lumen India, there's a lot of focus on quality. Quality is kind of a way of life for Lumen India, and to encourage that, we have adopted Kaizen approach. Kaizen is a process where you make a lot of small improvements which over a period of time accumulates and makes a significant impact.
Thank you, Mr. Soumitra, for speaking to ET Now.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Well, let's start off with, we understand by 2028, right, that India is all set to surpass nearly 2,100 global capability centers. Now, in your understanding, what makes, the conducive environment as far as India is concerned to thrive for the GCCs?
Yeah, that's a great question. As of now, I think India has 1,700 plus GCCs in various sectors, and we employ roughly 1.9 million individuals all across the country. There's a reason why companies come to India. And from my experience, I feel there are a few things which stand out. Number one, I feel India is home to a vast and diverse talent pool. And the talent pool is not just limited to tech, it is beyond tech. Pharma, healthcare, automobile industry, fintechs, right? And if you look at the larger ecosystem, I think over the last 5 years, we have seen a huge surge in the startup ecosystem.
Right.
Several thousands of them are actually unicorns, right? So this talent is coming from India. And why is this talent coming? I believe the education system in India is still very superior compared to many other countries, right? And we are producing probably millions of STEM graduates every single year. So I feel talent plays a very important role. The second one, many GCC leaders may not like to hear it, but I will call it out. Cost does play a role, right?
Yes.
India does offer a very competitive rate when it comes to labor, when it comes to real estate, facilities, infrastructure. And I think this competitive edge from a cost standpoint is definitely lucrative to companies. The third important reason I feel is India serves as a gateway to nearby markets in APAC and Middle East.
Right.
Think about companies in the Western Hemisphere, they would want access to APAC, and India serves as a great gateway. Similarly for EMEA countries, right? So I feel proximity to the APAC and the Middle East Asia provides a competitive advantage to many companies. And I believe the last and most important thing is government initiatives.
So taking to a next question, India's AI generative market, we're looking at growing at over 36% as far as the compound annual growth rate is concerned.
Right.
Now, what are the trends that you have observed in this sector?
Okay. See, when it comes to Gen AI, there's always a lot of debate in the hall, right?
The buzzword is that.
Yeah. Most companies, like they say they're using Gen AI, but truly speaking, it's still a long way to go. Let me be very candid here, right?
Okay.
Like many companies have actually implemented Gen AI in several solutions from a proof of concept standpoint, but the real value lies in taking this POC out into production. Right. That's when you get enterprise grade value. And I don't think many companies are doing that. However, when it comes to the landscape here in India, especially on the startup ecosystem, if you see, I think the first and foremost trend that I'm seeing is in terms of localized and multimodal models.
Okay.
And what do I mean by that? Using Gen AI to create text solutions catering to the 25, 26 different languages that we have in the country, right? I don't think there's any other country which is doing this. India stands at this pivotal point where we are leveraging Gen AI models to create solutions in local language. The third trend you will see is in terms of, well, another buzzword, agentic AI ecosystem.
Oh, yes.
Like everyone says they're building agentic AI. Yes. I don't know how much of that is true, but there is a genuine effort across companies, not just in India, globally, to create an ecosystem where you and I can just spin up bots or agents on the fly.
Right.
So an agentic AI ecosystem is supposed to automate a lot of the mundane tasks, and I think a lot of the enterprises here in India and globally are actually doing that. So I think these are three key trends that I see, but the one which is evolving trend and it will become very, very critical over the next few years is, you would have heard about DPDP,
yes,
right? So ethics, compliance, data privacy becomes super important. So this will be a growing trend in the country.
Okay, all right. So moving on to our next question, as a global capability center, right, you're supporting a Fortune 500 parent company.
Yeah.
Now, we would like to understand what are the kind of key strategic initiatives, especially Lumen India is currently driving to support the Lumen global customers, especially in this AI era.
That's a fabulous question. Let me step back and give some context, right? If you look at the larger ecosystem at play, while AI is the buzzword, the buzzword which is not very apparent is data centers. Across the globe, data centers are seeing a huge surge. So right now, it's about, I think, $350 billion worth of an industry, which is heading towards $650 billion in the next 3 to 4 years.
Right.
The power consumption is going to increase probably 200 to 300%, right? Why do we need data centers? The answer is, in order for Gen AI to work effectively, agentic solutions to work effectively, you need these power centers, right? These are the data centers. So in this era where everybody is trying to prove their AI supremacy, the AI supremacy is actually going to be determined by your data center supremacy. So here's what Lumen is doing. We are really making ourselves ready for one simple thing. The cloud of today is not ready for the internet of tomorrow. And that's why we are cloudifying telecom. So as part of that, from a Lumen India standpoint, there are several strategic initiatives which we are intricately involved in. The first one is, like I said, cloudifying telecom. Okay. So where we have created 3 big, powerful engines which are migrating applications to Azure, AWS, GCP, the 3 standard CSPs. So we are ready. We are becoming ready for the future. The next thing that we are doing is in terms of AI and Gen AI. Just to step back a little bit, Lumen India was the pioneer in adopting, implementing, and showing tangible results of using Gen AI as a productivity booster for employees, right? So we were the first ones to start Copilot way back in Jan 2024. We did a pilot with 500 engineers, 387 use cases, and we showed productivity gains of 30%, and I'll explain that to you how we did that. And after that, it's been across the company, like the adoption has really grown across the company, right? So that's one thing that we did. But when I say productivity gain, we have been really talking about what tangible business outcomes are you delivering, right?
Right.
What's the feature throughput quarter on quarter, and we have been measuring that very scientifically. So the second important thing where we are involved in is in terms of Gen AI, and machine learning initiatives. There are several bots that we have created out there in production. So I believe that these are the two key things, cloud and AI, where India is probably pressing on all the gas pedals to make sure that we turn out to be a value partner for the parent company. And the underlying message over here is we want India to become an innovation hub for Lumen, right? So we have already laid some foundation stones for that. This is our third year where we are really setting the foundation very strong. So what did we do? Number one, it's important, like we all come with a tech bent of mind. It's important to understand the business. If you don't understand the business, you cannot really innovate. So what we did in the first year was launched a program called as Adhyana. Adhyana was meant for educating all Lumen India employees on the business of Lumen, the products of Lumen, the customers of Lumen. It's very important to understand and speak in that language. Only then you can innovate. We have done a lot of workshops in terms of making sure people are up to speed on the latest technology stack. So business and tech put together will result in innovation. So that's the third initiative that we're involved in, setting up this innovation center from Lumen India.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. You're watching our special weekend edition, Super Achievers Making New India, powered by VoiceWhat. In conversation today with Soumitra Saha, Managing Director and Country Head, Lumen Technologies, about India's growing tech leadership. Listen in.
In fact, if we can talk a little bit about, the hybrid work policy. So how does Lumen India's hybrid work policy is working for you all, in fact, where I'm talking about flexibility then with collaboration needs. What specific practices are in place to ensure that remote and in-office employees remain really engaged and productive? In fact, you were talking about productiveness.
The reason I'm smiling is because there hasn't been one interview, there hasn't been one all hands where I've not been asked this question.
Okay.
And at the all hands special, it is about employees asking, is the policy going to change? Okay, so Lumen India does offer a very flexible work from home, work from office policy. It's 1 day a week is what we recommend people to come in.
1 day a week?
1 day a week, or 4 days in a month,
okay.
Right? However, that's a general guideline. I believe the reason it has worked so beautifully over the last 3 years is because we haven't mandated and we haven't centralized this. This is left to individual business units. So there was a team which was working on our ERP migration. That required people to be in the office.
Right.
And that team showed up every single day, right? So while we say it is 1 day a week or 4 days in a month, there are business units which require people to be in the office 3 days a week.
Right.
5 days a week for that matter, right? So people do show up. I believe there's a psychological and human factor that plays over here. If you trust your employees and empower them, I think they don't misuse it.
If we can talk about, again, Gen AI, coming back to that, how extensively is Gen AI coding utilities being utilized, and what measurable improvements that you are looking at has the organization seen in developer productivity and code quality?
I think a very relevant question in today's times. We have been a huge proponent of Gen AI tools and utilities, right? Like I said, we were the pioneers in terms of using Copilot, and almost all engineers have Copilot on their machines today. But we are just not limited to one tool. We have explored a whole set of tools outside of Copilot as well. The intent really is to empower our engineers and to make sure that they are able to use their time in a much more better way in higher order roles. we have seen huge improvements in that, right? Again, when I talk about metrics, I will talk about 2 key metrics over here. I'm not talking about productivity.
Right.
I'm talking about throughput, which means feature throughput, which means the number of tangible business outcomes you're able to deliver for a given project in a given time period. Like the amount of time you would take to deliver something has gone down. Now, that varies from team to team, product to product, and it also depends on the composition of the teams. Like if there's a team which is less heavily dependent on engineers and non-engineering roles, you might not see that much of a productivity gain.
Okay.
But if there are teams where there's a substantial amount of engineers, because we are using GHCP and other tools, you naturally see the cycle time go down and elevation in the productivity. So overall, we are a company who, like our CEO is a big time proponent of AI, Gen AI, and agentic AI. She encourages everybody globally to use these tools very effectively. So from that standpoint, I think we are very happy and we are blessed to have a leadership like that back in the US,
Okay.
who does not think about, oh, I'm going to spend so much of money. She is actually investing money on the people so that our engineers become better every single day.
In fact, drawing from your 25 years of experience, right, be it banking, finance, or IT for that matter.
Yeah.
Now, what are the critical lessons that you actually bring into as far as Lumen India is concerned in terms of scaling its operations and also India's technology capabilities?
Okay. Very interesting question. In terms of Lumen India expansion and tech capabilities, right? Look, if you walk on the streets of Bangalore, Hyderabad, Vizag, you'll find Java engineers, Gen AI engineers.
Plenty.
Yeah, plenty, right? What you would not get is a Java engineer who understands an order entry system.
Right.
What you would not get is a Gen AI engineer who understands the billing end-to-end in a telco system. What I'm driving my point is, it's important, I've learned this lesson over the last several years, it's important to build an organization, especially in a GCC setup. Technology alone is not going to cut the ice. You got to have a good blend of tech and domain business. Business is super critical. That's why in my first year when I joined Lumen, even though people found it strange, but now they find the benefits of it, we launched Adhyana. Like people, I wanted everyone to really understand the business of Lumen. What are the products that we are offering to our clients? What are the pitfalls of those products? Like, because those are the ones which are going to give you good ideas to innovate, right? So understanding the customer experience, understanding the product landscape, and understanding the business end-to-end is super critical. Whether it is Lumen or any other company you go to, that's my advice. Like, I would focus on that. The second that I would focus on is, as you build up and grow the organization, you're nurturing talent in-house, as well as you're bringing in talent from the outside. You got to have a good blend of both. As an example, I am building my cloud center of excellence or AI center of excellence. I may have certain talent in-house, but I may not have enough of that talent in-house. And there's a lot of talent outside as well. So we hire talent from outside as well, so that we have a good blend of people who are already existing in the system and the market forces that come in. Now, we have our hiring system, the tech interviews that we have, the coding challenge that we have, is one of the hardest in the industry. So anyone who's coming in is actually a solid person walking into the doors of Lumen. I think third is the ability for leadership to scale up and learn. And I'll explain that with the example of cloud and Gen AI. If the leaders here do not get hands-on and do not get proficient with the latest technology stacks, who's going to lead the show?
Right.
So one principle that I follow over here is I want to make sure, and people know this very well on the floor, leaders are hands-on. They're supposed to be up to speed on the latest technology stacks so that they can lead their teams very effectively. And fourth, very, very important to me, is the people and the culture part.
Right.
So we are an organization that deeply believes in the 8 cultures that we have, 8 cultural values that we have, right? Teamwork, trust, transparency, courage, customer obsession.
Right. I mean, I would also like to try and understand that, at a time across the world, we are talking about layoffs. Companies are
Yeah.
laying off people. There
Yeah.
is adoption of AI happening. So how exactly are you training your employees here?
Yeah. So the training is purely based on the latest tech stacks and
Okay.
what is the need of the business. Today, our business needs people to be proficient on AI.
So you all are upskilling your in-house
Yes.
talent.
So there was a year-long campaign we ran called as AI Academy. It's still
Okay.
running actually,
Okay.
which is an in-house. It's a gamified platform we developed
Okay.
so that people can learn AI in different stages, like basic, intermediate, and advanced.
Right.
And they have certifications which are given out. They have to appear for tests. They clear those tests.
Okay.
They get certified, and then they get an entry into the AI team. Right. So that's an example to your question about how we are upskilling our people.
Okay, great. Also, let's talk about a little with respect to where you have worked across different geographies, be it Boston or Toronto or San Francisco for that matter. Now, how do you foster that entrepreneurial mindset within a large GCC organization like Lumen India?
I think it's important to recognize that innovation is not automation.
Okay.
Most GCCs, like if you talk to people, they'll say, oh, I've automated $1 million worth of work. That's innovation. Well, that's Kaizen. You're supposed to be doing that. That's part of our job responsibility. So to me, innovation is about creating a new product,
Yeah.
a new service, or a new experience. It is something which does not exist in the industry. You create a new marketplace for yourself. That is innovation. Or you take up one existing product and kind of rebuild that, and you redefine the employee experience around that, the customer experience around that.
Right.
That is innovation, right? So that's the first fundamental thing I wanted to call out. Next is in terms of setting up an innovation ecosystem or the entrepreneurial mindset. I have always encouraged, and I practice this, 2 to 3% of the organization, identify that 2 to 3% of the organization who can think 5 years from now. The ability to sail through difficult times, accept failure, and move on is very important.
Well, thank you, Mr. Soumitra, for speaking to ET Now. That was an insightful discussion.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure being here.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.